Have you ever taken a good, long look at your bank statement and thought, what am I still paying for all this stuff for? I mean really, when was the last time you used that gym membership? Or watched more than one or two of those streaming channels? How many times have you paid for something out of habit, or just because it felt easier than canceling it? You've spent your whole life working hard, being responsible, saving for a future you could enjoy. And now that you're in that chapter, the one everyone talks about, the golden years, shouldn't your money be working for you? Shouldn't it be buying you peace of mind, comfort, and freedom, not clutter, stress, and bills that don't make sense anymore? But here's the thing, nobody really tells you that spending in old age is different. Your needs change. Your values shift. And sometimes, the habits we've had for decades, they quietly become burdens. Little things that drain our wallets and our energy, without us even noticing. And let's be honest, letting go of those old spending habits, it's not always easy. Because it's not just about money. Sometimes it's about memories. Or identity. Or just, not wanting to feel like we're giving things up. But here's the truth, you're not giving anything up. You're choosing better. You're choosing to live more intentionally. To simplify. To protect your future and make space for what actually matters. Whether that's your health, your family, or just the peace of knowing you're in control. So today, we're going to walk through 9 things you should stop spending money on in old age. Some of these might feel obvious. Others may catch you by surprise. But I promise, each one is worth thinking about. And don't skip the last one, it's something a lot of people overlook, and it could be quietly costing you thousands of dollars without you even realizing it. Before we dive in, though, I want to hear from you. If you're ready to start making smarter choices with your money and focus on what truly matters in this season of life, comment, "I'm here," down below. Let me know you're listening. Let me know you're ready. And if you believe in living wisely, aging with grace, and taking care of what really counts, hit that subscribe button and join our family here at Elderly Wisdom Guide. Alright, let's get into it. Let's start with something that might hit close to home. Technology upgrades. Now I want you to picture this. John, he's in his early 70s, retired, healthy, sharp. Every year like clockwork, he'd go out and buy the newest smartphone. You know the kind, the latest model with 5 cameras on the back, facial recognition, more storage than a laptop, and more features than most people will ever use. He did it because, well, it became a habit. Maybe even a little excitement. If there's something new, it must be better, he thought. He wanted to stay current, to feel connected. There's nothing wrong with that. But here's the thing, months would go by, and John was still using the phone for the same 3 things: calls, texts, and checking the news. He didn't use half the features. Didn't even know what most of them did. And yet, every year, there he was, shelling out hundreds, sometimes over $1,000, for something he didn't really need. Sound familiar? You see, most of today's technology is designed for a younger crowd. People who spend hours on apps, who want their phone to be their wallet, their entertainment center, even their therapist. But if that's not how you live, why should you pay for it? Here's what no one tells you, just because something is new doesn't mean it's better for you. In fact, for many older adults, newer technology can actually make life more complicated. Smaller buttons, more updates, confusing interfaces. What's the point of all that if all you need is something simple, reliable, and easy to use? Yet there's a pressure, a quiet one. This feeling that if you don't keep upgrading, you're being left behind. That not having the latest device means you're out of touch. But that's a lie. And it's costing people like John, and maybe even people like you, hundreds or thousands of dollars over time. Here's my advice. Instead of buying the newest phone or gadget every year, ask yourself, what do I actually use? What do I really need? If your current phone or tablet still works and does what you want it to do, keep it. Skip the flash. Save your money. Technology is supposed to make your life easier, not more expensive and stressful. And besides, it's not just about gadgets. Sometimes, what we spend our money on ends up sitting around the house, collecting dust, and creating more stress than it's worth. Now, let's walk into the home for a moment. Not just any home, your home. A space you've built over a lifetime. Memories in every photo frame, warmth in every old chair, comfort in the details. Margaret, an old friend of mine, used to take great pride in her home. Every season, she'd change the tablecloths, put up themed decorations, arrange little trinkets on shelves and side tables. Her house was cozy, full of life, full of charm. But over the years, something changed. It wasn't the home, it was her mobility. Her energy. What once brought joy became another thing to clean, another corner to reach, another item to dust or step over. And that same collection of decor she once loved? It slowly turned into clutter. A hazard. A frustration. She told me one day, "I used to feel proud of all this. Now I just feel overwhelmed." And she's not alone. As we age, the way we move changes. Balance isn't what it used to be. Reaction times slow down. Our knees ache, our backs complain. And suddenly, that charming little rug becomes a slipping danger. That antique coffee table, a bruised shin waiting to happen. Here's the truth a lot of people don't talk about: comfort doesn't come from more things, it comes from the right things. Things that serve a purpose. That make life easier. Safer. More peaceful. But there's a misconception, this idea that downsizing your belongings means you're giving up, or that a home without all the old touches will feel cold and empty. But the opposite is often true. A simpler space can be a more peaceful space. Easier to move through. Easier to breathe in. So, if your shelves are crowded, your closets are bursting, or you find yourself dusting things you no longer even look at, maybe it's time to let some of it go. Keep what brings you joy. Keep what's useful. But let go of the things that have become more burden than blessing. Choose furnishings that are easy to clean. Chairs that support your back. Surfaces that are within reach. Flooring that's non-slip. Think of your home as your partner in comfort, not your obstacle course. And speaking of comfort, there's something else that's slowly draining energy and money, quietly, behind the scenes, every single month. Let's talk about subscriptions. Let me ask you something, how many streaming services are you subscribed to right now? Netflix? Hulu? Disney Plus? Maybe even a cooking channel or that yoga subscription your niece signed you up for? Now, how many of those do you actually use? I once spoke to a man named George, retired, lived alone, enjoyed a good movie in the evening. He was shocked when we sat down and added it all up. 5 streaming services. 3 digital magazine apps. A music subscription. And a couple of online clubs he hadn't logged into in over a year. Altogether, over $100 a month, just disappearing. Quietly. Automatically. You see, that's the trap, auto-renewals. They're designed to be forgettable. Out of sight, out of mind. It's only a few dollars here, $10 there. But over time, that adds up. Big time. And here's the thing, when you're younger, it's easier to justify all those subscriptions. You're trying new things, your schedule's packed, your interests are changing constantly. But in your golden years, your routines are more defined. You know what you like. You know what you actually use. Yet many folks hang on to all these subscriptions, just in case. Just in case I get bored. Just in case my grandkids visit. Just in case I get back into reading or crafting or jazz dancing. But that, just in case, can cost you hundreds, or even thousands, over the years. So, here's a simple step that could save you big. Every 6 months, do a subscription audit. Sit down, look at your statements, and ask, am I using this? If the answer's no, cancel it. If you forgot what it even is, cancel it. If it's something you only use once or twice a year, consider whether it's worth the money. You're not depriving yourself, you're decluttering your finances. Just like we talked about with your home, you're making space for what really matters. Now, let's shift gears. Because there's one area where people overspend, not because they want to, but because they feel like they have to. Something we hold on to out of habit, fear, or tradition. Let's take a moment and step into the closet. Not the one filled with dust or old winter coats, the one filled with decisions. What to wear. What to keep. What to buy. I remember Edith. A lovely woman in her late 70s who once had a wardrobe that could rival a department store. Blouses with intricate lace, tailored pantsuits, shoes for every occasion, and scarves she'd collected from her travels over the years. She told me, I used to dress up for events, church gatherings, luncheons, community concerts. I loved it, it made me feel alive. But life slowed down. Outings became fewer. Friends moved away. She wasn't going out as much anymore, but the habit of buying never stopped. She'd still pick up that shiny new blouse at the mall or order a trendy handbag she saw on TV. Not because she needed it, but because for so long, that's what she did. And old habits are hard to let go of. But here's the truth, expensive doesn't mean better. Especially not now. What really matters at this stage of life? Comfort. Simplicity. Ease. Clothes that are soft on the skin, easy to put on, and just as easy to wash. Shoes that support your back. Fabrics that don't wrinkle the moment you sit down. There's this idea floating around that growing older means fading away, and some people try to fight that by spending more on appearance. But your worth, your beauty, isn't in a price tag. It's in how you feel when you wear something. So, if your closet is packed with pieces you haven't worn in a year, maybe it's time to let them go. Keep what makes you feel good, not just look good. And save that money for something that truly enriches your life. Because clothing may cover us, but it's the moments we share that truly dress our souls. Speaking of which, let's talk about those little ones in your life. Your grandkids. Because what you give them, might not be what they really want. Now this one's a tender spot. Thomas, an old neighbor of mine, loved his grandkids to the moon and back. Every birthday, every holiday, he'd shower them with gifts. The latest toys, shiny gadgets, expensive clothes. He didn't grow up with much, so he wanted to give them the world. And for a while, he thought that was the best way to show love. But something changed. One afternoon, his granddaughter came over with her school project. She needed help building a model solar system. They spent 2 hours at the kitchen table, cutting out planets, painting tiny moons, laughing over the mess. When it was done, she looked at him and said, "Grandpa, this was the best day ever." Not the dollhouse he bought her last Christmas. Not the video game console. Just that moment. That time together. Thomas realized something powerful. Kids remember how you made them feel, not what you bought them. There's a common misunderstanding that if you don't give enough, they'll forget you. That money equals love. But it doesn't. And in today's world, where screens are everywhere and distractions are endless, what children crave more than ever is presence. Connection. That sacred, undivided attention that says, "You matter to me." Instead of expensive gifts, why not give experiences? A bedtime story. A walk in the park. Baking cookies together. Game nights, puzzle time, looking at old photos, telling them stories of how you grew up. Those are the things they'll hold close when they're older. Not the doll that broke. Not the sweater they outgrew. So next time you feel the urge to splurge on the newest gadget or toy, ask yourself, what would mean more? My money, or my time? Because sometimes, it's not about what we give. It's about what we buy into, the myths, the fears, the habits we carry with us. And that brings us to something that drains not just your wallet, but your peace of mind. Let's talk about something that's been showing up more and more on TV commercials, magazine ads, and even conversations with neighbors. You know the ones. Bottles of pills promising sharper memory, stronger joints, more energy, better sleep. Nancy, a sweet woman I met at a senior group last year, had a cabinet full of them. She showed me once, rows of bottles with words like Brain Booster, Miracle Omega, and Anti-Aging Formula. She spent hundreds of dollars each month because someone told her it could help her remember things better. She didn't want to forget the names of her grandchildren again. But after months of faithfully taking them, nothing really changed. Except her bank account. Here's the thing, just because a label says natural, doesn't mean it's safe. And just because it's expensive, doesn't mean it works. Many of these supplements aren't even properly regulated. The claims they make? Often not backed by real science. And some can even interfere with medications you actually need. There's a powerful emotional pull behind health fads. Because we all want to feel better, live longer, stay sharp. That's human. But these companies know that. They market hope in a bottle. The truth? Good health doesn't come from a miracle pill. It comes from consistency. From drinking enough water. Eating balanced meals. Getting fresh air. Gentle movement. And yes, taking your prescribed medications properly. If you're ever unsure, talk to your doctor or pharmacist before starting anything new. They know your history. They'll help you find what's real, and what's just marketing. Because your health is too precious to gamble with. And your money? Too hard-earned to waste chasing empty promises. Remember, health is wealth, yes. But not when it drains your wallet on hope that doesn't deliver. Now let's shift gears to another area where money leaks quietly month after month. The house you live in. George had lived in the same home for over 40 years. 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, a long driveway, a big backyard he used to mow every Sunday. It was the house where he raised his kids. Celebrated birthdays. Where laughter filled the halls and photo albums filled the shelves. But now? He was living alone. The kids had moved out long ago. His wife had passed. He mostly stayed in the kitchen and his bedroom. The rest? Empty, quiet, but still costing him money. He paid to heat every room. Paid to fix a leaky roof. To clean, to maintain, to keep up the lawn, even though no one was really using those spaces. And you know what he said to me one day? I love this house, but I'm tired. It feels like I'm carrying something too big for my back now. A lot of people hold on to a house because it holds memories. And that's understandable. Those walls carry stories. But if keeping it is draining your savings, your energy, or your safety, it may be time to ask a hard question. Is this house still serving me? Or am I serving it? Downsizing isn't about giving up. It's about gaining peace. Less to clean, less to fix, less to worry about. And often? Less expensive bills. Smaller homes can be cozier, safer, and easier to manage, especially if mobility becomes a challenge. And there are more options now than ever. Townhomes. Condos. Senior living communities that offer social activities, transportation, and on-site help when needed. Letting go of space doesn't mean letting go of your life. It means making room for a new kind of living. A life with more freedom, fewer burdens. Because home is not just where you raised your family. It's also where you feel safe and at ease. And speaking of ease, let's talk about something many of us hold on to out of convenience, but that may be costing us far more than it's worth: your vehicle. Sally had 2 cars in her driveway. One was her everyday ride, a simple, comfortable sedan she drove to the grocery store, her doctor appointments, and sometimes to visit her daughter across town. The other? Her husband's old car. After he passed, it just sat there. Month after month, collecting dust, weathering the seasons. She told herself, I might need it one day. Or maybe the grandkids could use it. But months turned into years, and that second car never moved. What did move, though? The bills. Insurance. Even if she didn't drive it. Registration fees. Even though no one used it. Maintenance checks, just to keep it from falling apart. Not to mention the stress of keeping it running just in case. Here's what many people don't realize: cars are expensive even when they're sitting still. And unless you're using it regularly, you're essentially pouring money into a machine that doesn't serve you anymore. The old idea of just in case can be comforting, but in retirement, comfort should also mean less worry, fewer bills, and more peace of mind. And truth be told, transportation options have come a long way. Maybe you don't drive at night anymore. Maybe long distances feel overwhelming. That's okay. There are community ride services made just for seniors. There's rideshare, buses, shuttles, more ways than ever to get where you need to go safely, and often at a lower cost than keeping a car. Letting go of that extra vehicle isn't about losing independence. It's about choosing smart independence. It's about freeing up money and space for things that truly matter. Now, we've gone through quite a list. But this last one? It's subtle. It creeps in slowly. And it can quietly rob you of both your peace and your money. Let's talk about buying for appearances, not for need. Helen was known for her fashion. Back in the day, she'd show up to every church gathering in a beautiful outfit. Matching purse, shoes, earrings, everything coordinated. She always looked sharp, and she loved it. But as time passed, her outings became fewer. Health challenges made it harder to get out. The social events she once loved started to feel overwhelming. Yet, she kept shopping. Designer handbags, new scarves, expensive shoes that never left the closet. Why? Because for Helen, buying beautiful things felt like holding on to a part of herself. A reminder of who she was. Maybe even who she still wanted to be. But slowly, those purchases stopped bringing her joy. They became just things. Dusty things. Costly things. Here's the truth: there's nothing wrong with wanting to feel good in what you wear. Nothing wrong with keeping your sense of style alive. But when purchases are made to maintain an image that no longer fits your life, when you buy to impress, rather than to serve a purpose, you're not investing in joy. You're investing in pressure. As we age, our values shift. And that's okay. You might find that comfort matters more than appearance. That quality of life trumps brand names. That peace of mind feels better than any handbag ever could. This stage of life? It's about you. Not about what others think. Not about appearances. Not about trying to keep up with someone else's idea of having it together. Your money should reflect your reality, and your happiness. Not someone else's expectations. Let your purchases bring you joy. Let them support your lifestyle. Let them simplify, not complicate. Because the truth is, you don't need to prove anything to anyone. And now that we've walked through all 9 things, let's take a moment to reflect on what it all really means. It's hard to let go of things that once mattered. A house full of decorations that once made holidays magical. A second car that once held memories of family road trips. Clothes that remind you of the lively social gatherings you used to attend. Even pills and gadgets bought with hope, because hope never really fades. Many of these habits come from a lifetime of routine, love, or pride. And that's nothing to be ashamed of. You've lived through decades of change, raised families, built careers, carried responsibilities that many today can't even imagine. So, it's only natural to hold on to the habits that carried you through. But here's the quiet truth that many overlook: life after 60, 70, 80. It's not about holding on. It's about letting go, intentionally, gently, and wisely. Letting go of what no longer serves you. That's not loss. That's liberation. Because aging, real, dignified, conscious aging, isn't about shrinking your life. It's about refining it. You get to decide what matters now. Not advertisers. Not outdated routines. Not what others expect. You. And that's powerful. Take a moment and breathe that in. You've earned the right to live simply. Peacefully. Meaningfully. Not surrounded by clutter, noise, or wasted expenses, but surrounded by peace, comfort, and the people and experiences that truly matter. So, here's what I invite you to do, today. Choose one area. Just one. Maybe it's that streaming service you never watch. Maybe it's the guest bedroom you haven't used in 5 years. Maybe it's a drawer full of receipts from things you didn't really need. Start there. Talk to your family. Reflect. And when you're ready, let go. Not because you're giving something up, but because you're making room. Room for freedom. Room for clarity. Room for the life you've earned. Because these changes, they're not about restriction. They're not about going without. They're about making space. Less clutter. Less worry. More time. More joy. And isn't that what your golden years should truly be about? You've given so much to others. Now, give yourself the gift of a lighter, freer life. You deserve it. Let's take a moment to reflect on what we've uncovered today. We looked at 9 things that, for many people in their later years, quietly drain not just their wallets, but their peace of mind. From trendy tech upgrades that go mostly unused, to home decor that adds more dust than joy, to subscriptions that silently auto-renew month after month. We talked about clothing and gifts that were once meaningful, but may no longer serve your lifestyle. We questioned health fads, oversized homes, and that second car sitting in the driveway. And we ended with perhaps the most personal one of all, spending money just to maintain appearances. Every single point wasn't about cutting back to go without. It was about cutting back to make room for what truly matters now. Peace. Simplicity. Connection. Joy. Freedom. So now, let me ask you something. Which one of these stood out to you most? Was there something that made you pause? Maybe even hit a little close to home? Or maybe there's something you've already stopped spending on, and it made a big difference. If that's you, I want to hear about it. Share your thoughts, your stories, your aha moments in the comments below. You never know who your story might help. And if this video gave you a new way of seeing things, even just one new idea, consider subscribing to Elderly Wisdom Guide. Because that's what we're here for. To help you age not just gracefully, but intentionally. With dignity. With clarity. With heart. Every week, we explore topics that matter in this stage of life: your health, your money, your mindset, your legacy. So, if that speaks to you, I'd love to have you as part of this growing community of wise, thoughtful, purposeful elders. And finally, thank you. Thank you for spending these few minutes with me today. Thank you for investing in yourself, in your awareness, and in your future. Stay wise. Stay well. And remember, Every dollar you save now isn't just money. It's a little more freedom. A little more ease. And a little more room for what really matters. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.